Hey guys, Steve again, lighting to my path. This is number 3, I believe, in our garden journal this year. Today we're going to do a few things, actually, hoping to. We got beautiful weather once again. 19th day of March, and it's about 75 degrees out here, close to a record high. First thing we're going to do today is get our taters ready to put in the ground. We got our seed potatoes laying out here, and we'll go through what we're going to do to get them ready in just a minute. Alright guys, we got some taters out of our bag, seed taters here, poured out on the table. All we're going to do is go through and find the little eyes, which is nothing but a sprout coming out. Now, I know 90% of you know what this is, but some people may have never done this before. So each little eye right here is another sprout that will grow into a whole new plant. So all we're going to do is cut these into pieces that have 2 or 3 eyes apiece on them. See the little sprouts coming out there, maybe not. But that's the main reason that you don't garden naked, because them taters have eyes. So what we're going to do is cut those up into pieces and let them sit here overnight. If you let them sit overnight, the cut spots will heal up, and that'll keep them from rotting when you do put them in the ground. So we're going to do that, and then we'll get back with you on something else here in a little bit.
Are you done talking?
Alright, I wanted to do this for those that maybe never have gardened before or planted potatoes and stuff. See all these little bitty, just little nubs that are sticking out, little white ones. You can see them down in that crevice there. Right there's a few. Those are what I'm talking about when I say the eyes. There's a few more around here. But those are the beginnings of sprouts. Once you put these in the ground, those little eyes will sprout on out, just like if you have a bag of potatoes in your kitchen that you've had for a while and it gets the big long white things coming out. Well, that's the new growth. And it will come through the ground, and that's when your plant starts growing. You can see I've cut off part of this potato already. From where I cut on over to the side that's missing, there was no eyes there. So I went ahead and cut it off. You can use those for supper is what we're going to use them for, the pieces you cut off that don't have eyes. And this piece here, so we've got several eyes there, one over there. I can probably get 3 pieces here to put in the ground, because you only need 1 or 2 eyes in each piece you put in the ground, and it doesn't have to be real thick. There's a place up the road an hour and a half or so in Tazewell County called Burke's Garden. You can look it up. It's a little tourist attraction around here local. But it got its name from a man named Burke years ago, and the story goes that he camped there one night and had potatoes for supper, and he just threw the peelings down. And when the next people came through, there was a whole patch of potatoes. Like I said, that's the story. But you can, you can just put the peeling out into the ground. That will grow too. So if you at home and you're doing that, the peelings will work fine as long as it has an eye on it. Okay guys, we got our seed taters cut up, letting them heal up overnight. We'll show you how they're looking already here in a bit. Got this little spot here, gonna put some carrots in. Now carrots really like well-tilled, fine soil with no rocks or anything in it, because they like to grow straight down. Now they will fork and go around stuff. That's how you get deformed looking carrots, for those that split with a fork in them. So what we've done to remedy that, we just got some little heels. They don't have to be big, just a couple inches high, but we know that the heel there is well tilled, it's fine, and that just gives them an extra couple inches to grow before they start going straight down in. Now, carrot seeds are extremely small and extremely fine. So instead of taking the trouble and trying to get one seed here, I always just kind of put a handful out, spread it out, and as they start sprouting, then I can divide them to give them room. If you try to do one at a time, it's not going to happen. You can make a homemade seed tape. That's how small looking they are. And they're cheap too, so not out much by the ones that kind of get thrown away. You can make a homemade seed tape using paper towels, And you can set the table and do it one at a time if you wish. We're just going to throw them out there and just put a 1/4 inch of dirt maybe on top, just enough to keep them covered. And then we'll tamp them down just a fuzz and let them grow. Just go out the top of your heel, sprinkling around best you can. Just a little dirt. Sprinkle on top. Like I said, doesn't have to be thick. Deep it out, 1/4 inch or so. And just gently tap it. And make sure that the whole seed is in contact with the dirt. The thing about the carrots, if you don't have good soil, a lot of rocks, roots or whatever, you can get shorter growing versions they get fatter and they don't grow as long, so they don't have to fool with the rocks and the roots and such. We got Danvers half long here. They're not as long, so they should do a little better in this kind of soil. Even in the hills, do a lot better. You can see $1.59 for a 1/2 ounce of seeds. A 1/2 ounce of these seeds is a lot. So what don't come up don't really matter. Okay, we got our carrots put in the little heels here. In between the heels now, we're going to put out some red onions. Don't have a lot of space, so we got to make do with what we got. Just want to put them with the root end down. Make you a little hole with your thumb. Stick them right there. They don't have to be just barely covered up. Some like to go deeper, but you don't have to. Put them about 3 inches apart. No wasted space. Okay, we got those little short rows of onions planted and still got plenty of the little bulbs, seeds, left in this bag that cost $1.29. So every time we pull an onion to eat, stick another one back in the ground. We can have onions out of this one bag all summer long. Okay guys, we got a lot done today. Not exactly as much as we wanted, but quite a bit. So we can go around and show you a couple of things. This is our mustard seed that we just sowed last week. Coming up good and thick. And over there, we've got our leaf lettuce. A few of them coming up. And beside of it, we have spinach. Which a lot of what's there is grass that I can pick through, but there's a little spinach coming up in there too. There's a few little ones. But today, we got our carrots healed up and sowed. The thing with carrots, you can put a new sowing out every couple of weeks, and that way they'll come in together. When some are ready, a couple of weeks later, you'll have more ready, so you always got a good supply of carrots. In between the rows of carrots, we put our little red onions out. Use the small onion sets. Small onion sets, what you want to use for the bigger onions. And if you like the small green onions, you use the larger onion sets. That way you've got a little bit to eat on besides just blades. Over here we got 3 hills of kohlrabi that we put out. Kohlrabi, however you want to say it. That is this little gem right here. They're a weird looking little creature, but they have some green tops that come up that you can eat, either steamed or raw, just like about everything else. And they remind me in flavor of like a cabbage stalk, just not as hot. They're really good. You can eat them raw, just slice them, or fry them in butter with a little salt and pepper. Another good way to do it. We just sowed them like same way we did the carrots. They don't have to grow deep. We just like to put them in little hills So there they are, and in between the hills we put some large white onion sets. That'll be our little green onions that we like early in the spring. Our cabbage is still looking a little weak. I think that's because of all the rain we've had the last 2 or 3 days. The next 3 or 4 days are supposed to be just sun, so they should perk up. We still got some that's laying a little flat, but they should jump up before long. And our Swiss chard, some of it is kind of similar to the cabbage, still laying flat, but then others are starting to perk up already. So everything seems to be doing pretty good. Just going to show you all guys these seed potatoes that we sliced today before we go. Like I said, we put them out like this and let them sit overnight to let these cuts heal over. So you can tell it looks totally different than a freshly cut potato. And all that does is just takes the chances of them rotting in the ground down quite a bit. So we'll let them sit here overnight. Lord's willing, we'll get them in the ground tomorrow, and maybe a few other things done, and try to bring y'all along for that as well. Appreciate you watching. Catch us on the next one. Have a good one.
The circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by. There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Well, I told that